Start. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're well. Mr. Ali here, as always, with his community well-being show. And hope you're well and have been enjoying the weather recently. And as always, you can listen to us on various platforms, including www.aapkiawaz.co.uk. Alternatively, you can listen to us on also Radio Garden app, Hindi radio online app, and you can follow us on various social media platforms as well. And as always, not that I need to remind you, the studio number is 0121 682 8142. So before I introduce today's topic to you, I wish you all had a wonderful Eid with your family, friends, and you had a bit of time to spend some quality time and reflect on the important values that we wish to pass on to the next generation and also to the wider community as well. And I also would like to update the community that the local sergeant has updated us on those worrying and atrocious images that we saw last week about the broad daylight fighting that took place among youths with machetes and metal bars, and all of those that were in that video and took part in those horrific scenes have been arrested and charged as well. So that is wonderful news. So we are, alongside our stakeholders, working very hard to make sure that Alam Rock is a wonderful and a welcoming place as well. Today, I must confess, it is one of my proudest moments, one of my best shows that I think I'll be having, because my brother Haji Javed Akhtar has now just landed just over 48 hours ago back in the UK after completing one of the 5 pillars of Islam. A warm welcome to you, Haji Javed Akhtar.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Assalamu alaikum, my dear respected and esteemed brothers and sisters.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. No, first of all, how does it feel to be called now and to be known as Haji Javed Akhtar?
I mean, it's a magical experience. It's that, with the Hajj, right, you see all these videos, you see all these photos, but you can't imagine it when you see face to face.
That's right.
And Alhamdulillah, I had Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called me to do Hajj. And I was one of the blessed people, because I had only 3,600 people were successful in the whole of the UK. That's including Scotland and Wales.
Yeah.
So that was a privilege itself. Obviously, it's not cheap, it's expensive. I paid about 11 grand. And that did not include the Qurbani, so we have to pay for the Qurbani separately. But I'm proud to say that the Saudis, the infrastructure was in place. It was immaculate, everything bang on, the immigration, luggage, everything, no issues at all.
No, great, that's fine. So we will cover all of these topics step by step if we can. First of all, if I can, Brother Javed, give you a huge congratulations from Brother Amin, Brother Ikram, myself, on behalf of Radio Aapki Awaz on your completion of your fuzz. When did you start contemplating? Because it's not a decision after what you mentioned about the cost and the time it takes to go on your pilgrimage. When did you start planning to think about this?
I mean, we started at the beginning of the year in January, February. My sister was saying, let's make the niyat, because she was saying that when her husband, when her son passes his driving, then he can look after the house. He needs to be independent. So, inshallah, he passed his driving test, and then my sister said, let's make the niyat and let's, register on Nusak. And let's go. And we had the funds, we had the money, and I said, let's go. And there was 5 of us actually. There was me, my wife, my brother-in-law, my sister, and my chacha. So they're 5 of us.
Real family trip. And that made it even more special, I would imagine.
Yeah, and so we could look after my uncle. He's about 74 years old.
Oh, wow.
So, the family said, take him as well. And I thought, it's a good opportunity. And then we just made dua. Obviously, first thing you have to do is you go, because the Saudi got their own portal now. You can't do it through, before COVID, you could go to the travel agent, hand your passport, and then they sort out everything for you, the hotel, the whole package. And then at that time, 15 to 20,000 people used to go annually.
That's right.
And that's all stopped now. Now you have to, unless you're IT savvy,
yes,
it's impossible. You know, you have to stay up till Fajr because there's the amount of traffic on the website that comes on the website. It crashes, and then there's also the issue of payment because you have to pay the 50% of the cost of the package, and then we didn't know that Friday is the bank holiday in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
So, and then we have to hit the payment like it was over 50,000 between five of us, and trying to get all the money from one place, and then the bank charges and everything. And alhamdulillah, we got the package, we got through the payment, we made the payment, and then, you know, we got the email confirmation that our package had been booked, and then by May time, we got our visa as well because they applied for the visa. The visas come through, and then we have to make sure we get ready. We make sure you're double jabbed for COVID.
Yes.
And then also you need the meningitis one, and that's valid for 5 years.
Yeah.
And you get that done by your GP. Costs about £35, and then that will cover you for 5 years, and that's mandatory. They check that at the airport. There's no way that you can get around that.
Yeah.
So they're very strict on that. So once we have that done, and then do all the shopping that you need. For example, you need to invest in good footwear because you're going to be doing a lot of steps. And also the good idea is before you go on Hajj, use them new footwear and start wearing them every day.
To break a little bit.
Some people make a mistake of taking them brand new in the box, never worn them, and then they get discomfort while they're on Hajj. So my tip is always invest on the Sketchley. We bought them from Sketchley and Clark. They got fantastic footwear, no problem at all, no issue, no blisters, no nothing, even though we got underlying health condition. And then the other thing I say, take travel insurance. Although you're covered by the Saudi visa for emergency care, but if you break your leg or break your ankle and you have to come back, then this is where your travel insurance will kick in.
Sure.
So if you're spending that much money, £200 for travel insurance not going to kill you.
No. So this is the whole purpose of today's trip, is to really get that almost step by step in terms of preparation, in terms of organisation, that people often don't think about. So a really good tip about making sure that you buy sandals and break them in as well, because the last thing you want to be doing is realise when you're over there that these aren't comfortable or that they're actually causing you blisters. So great. And the bit about the travel insurance, I also advocate as well, especially when my relative had a stroke when he was at the Istanbul airport as well. So again, that just take that extra precaution. Absolutely.
And also you take all your medication with you,
yes.
Because if you're diabetic or don't think, I'm going to stop my medication, take them with you.
Yes.
Take your prescription list, so if any emergency, the doctor knows what you're taking.
Yes.
And then I tell you, take a paracetamol with you, ibuprofen, anything for sore throat. They won't give you any antibiotics in Saudi because they don't prescribe them. So you might need to get them from your GP here. And anything for your sore throat. And make sure you take a spray bottle so you can spray yourself with the water, to keep yourself cool.
Cool, okay.
Yeah, and if you want out of your eararm, you can wear a pug over your head to protect you from the heat. Yeah. And also invest in an umbrella. So to keep when you're walking,
the heat, okay.
So umbrella keep the heat away.
Yes.
But all these things are available in Makkah, Medina. You can buy them. The shops are there. But if you do your homework before, then you're well prepared for it.
Less stuff for you to worry about whilst you're there. So the last thing I know, some people don't heed the advice, but they use going to Saudi or Umrah or Hajj as a bit of a shopping experience, and it should be you want to spend as much time as possible doing your your ziyarah and your basic farz of Hajj or Umrah as well. So definitely, the other thing I was going to say was you obviously had all the material preparations. What about the physical preparations that one needs to undertake? So in terms of exercising, just walking.
Yeah, obviously I want to dedicate this to my esteemed brother Amin, who told me to do the steps.
Yes.
So we used to go around to do 10,000 steps at a minimum.
Yes.
So after every evening we used to walk around the block from our houses, and that's about 10,000 steps or 5,000. Because I know when I did the tawaf, I did about 30,000 steps.
Wow.
That's doing 7 times the tawaf and doing the Safa Marwa. and that was alone 30,000 steps, and that can be demanding. Obviously, if you're in wheelchair, they got the facilities for you. The porters will push you up and down, so that's not an issue. But you need to hold my wife's hand. That's another good tip. Is hold your wife's hand, because there's a lot of pushing and shoveling when you go around the dwarf, and you can easily lose people.
Absolutely.
So, and then we were about a few meters away from the car park, but there were people just like touching it and kissing it. We managed to kiss it, we touch it. Yeah, and the other.
Very fortunate that
and
was.
then do the 2 nafal for Ibrahim.
Yeah.
There, and then Zamzam water as well. And the other thing I would say is that if you do all that physical aspect is the tawaf, that's demanding, and obviously
Safa Marwa.
Safa Marwa say. The say.
They call it the say, which is Safa and Marwa, and then the green light that comes on, and that's where the men need to jog a bit.
So
that was spacious. There's no issue with that. In the Kaaba, that's where the whole too much pushing and shoving. That's why you got to be mindful of that.
What I found was Haji Javed. It'll take me a bit of time to get used to calling you Haji Javed now, but inshallah I'm going to try. When I was doing my when I did my Umrah, is because that marble, the floor is very hard. It wasn't necessarily the distance, but I just found that a bit sort of quite getting used to. It's quite a hard surface.
But you got to wear your shoes because the heat is there, and you get even 30 degrees at night. We get 20 when we can't cold.
We did Umrah on barefoot, actually.
No, you can, but the thing is, it's cold.
It's really hot.
But don't wear rubber shoes as well, because they will burn you.
Yeah.
You need your sandals. You can take them off.
Sure.
And keep a drawstring with you so you can put them in the back.
Sure.
And also another good tip is keep a masala with you, because sometimes you will not get a space to read because there's so many people there, and then sometimes you might end up reading on the road.
Yes.
So you just lay your masala and just follow the Jummah.
Yeah, listeners, viewers of Radio Aapki Awaaz, we have Haji Javed Akhtar, who has just completed his Hajj and landed just under 48 hours now, and is here on Radio Aapki Awaaz studios. And being the big personality he has bought so many fresh dates, all different dates, Ajwa dates, all the different kind of dates from Medina, from Saudi Arabia. He's also got Zamzam water for us as well. And he has said, if anyone is local, especially the community group that we have, if you are local, come partake in these gifts from Medina Sharif, and also the lovely cake that he has bought, and that goes to the wider Radio Aapki Awaaz guests as well, and viewers. If you are around, come in and be part of this celebration as well. So moving on now, so you've now done all the preparations in terms of making sure that you physically in a place that you could undertake this rather strenuous Hajj, but also then you had paid, so you were saying that it's £11,000 now. So I remember just before COVID, it was around 4 to 5.
6,000.
It was about £6,000, but now it's sort of just more or less doubled compared to pre-COVID times as well.
The first time that we had 3 million, because it's opened up now. Last year because it was closed.
That's right.
Yeah, so everyone come. And because I think, with the Saudis, I think they got oil for 20-25 years. They're going to run out, so they're trying to maximize the income from boxing, concert.
Yes, we've seen that. And many other stuff that we don't want to go into, which I don't think anyone really advocates, but nonetheless. So, yes. Muhtaram Shah, how are you, my dear brother? Hope you're well. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers. Hajj Mubarak, dear brothers.
Thank you so much.
Muhtaram Shah, thank you.
The other thing I want to say is that, when you go on Hajj, right, it's a spiritual journey. You will never experience anything. It's better than your wedding. It's better than the birth of your kid. It's number one. It's number one because you are investing in your akhirah, because your aim is to get to Jannah for those and
Absolutely.
Because everything we got here is on paper. You own this property, you own this car, you got this. But when we come with nothing, we're going to go with nothing. And I think this is the best investment I made in my life. Money is not a barrier, but obviously I know with the Pakistani people, they were half an hour away from us because they have to make a walk, a long walk.
And it's only when you're there you realise how much of a half an hour does that impact you in terms of getting everything done on time. especially when we're not used to. We're used to, convenience, and obviously, we want everything at our disposal. And then if you are I know a lot of people were contemplating going through the Pakistan route, which was roughly about half the price of the UK.
Yeah. But then, no, I think you only save $3,000, but you think about it, when you go from here to Pakistan, it's going to cost you £1,000 each ticket.
Yes.
Yeah. So then somebody going to pick you up from the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's as it goes. Then people going to come to see you. Then somebody going to take you back to the airport. When you come back, Hajj and all that. If you add it up, you're not saving much.
You're not saving much,
yeah. And it's all the, added stress.
And I want to also touch on the bit that Brother Amin, who's also a presenter here on Radio Aapki Awaaz, he mentioned as well that if those of you that are, Brother Amin, correct me if I'm wrong, that if you go on a visa route, then you won't be able to have the privilege of bringing Zamzam water. Is that right?
Ji Bhai Sahab, what happens is nowadays you can go to Saudi on a tourist visa.
Tourist visa.
Okay? And when you go on a tourist visa, what people do is they'll go to Haram Sharif, they'll download these apps when they buy a local SIM or whatever, and on that app, they'll book a slot to do their tawaf and whatever you. My question to the world and the community at large is, you are going on this spiritual journey.
Sure.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're going to do mafi and you're going to ask for forgiveness. And as Brother Javed kindly said, all your money you've invested, you are investing that money for a reward for your akhirat. I'm going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's house on a tourist visa, and then I'm going to expect to do tawaf and say or whatever. Hang on a minute. My intention in my heart is wrong, because my intention is to do umrah, but who am I lying to? And furthermore, there's a lot of misconception from the community that you can take a tourist visa, go and do your umrah and say your tawaf, and you can do it technically through the back door. But the worst thing about it is when you come back to Jeddah and when you buy your Zamzam water, maaf kariye bhai, I ask you, is about 8 riyals for your 5 litre.
For 5 litre.
So when you come back to Jeddah airport, you have to buy your Zamzam water. You can't fill up your can in Haram Sharif anymore now. They do it sealed. They check your passport. If your passport says tourist visa, you can't bring Zamzam for the sake of 8 riyal, bhai.
So you can't take any extra. If you try to hide anything in your luggage,
you're only allowed
they will
one.
throw your luggage away.
Wow.
You're only allowed one because of regulations with all airlines. You cannot hide 5 litre bottles in your suitcase now.
Is that a small amount or small bottle?
Everybody's entitled to a 5 litre. So when you check that in, that 5 litre goes into a separate cage and is kept in a separate storage. But our duty is to inform the community but a lot of people are misleading people. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you for that, brother. Just give me a second. Let me just read out some of the Mubaraks and stuff. So Shakil Chaudhry, Mubarak, Haji Javed Akhtar Sahib, Abud Hussain, mashallah, brother, Mr. Ali, you're doing a very good job, and Mubarak to brother Javed Akhtar. Danish Amraz, MBE, mashallah, congratulations to you as well, Danish, on your award of an MBE. Mashallah, congratulations to brothers Javed and salams to everyone. And I would like to also again invite everyone to the studios to take part in some khujur, some zamzam, some matai. The brothers Javed has also bought some flowers and also cake as well. There's plenty to go around. If you are anywhere near the studios, come and join us as well. So, so you now are ready to embark. You got everything packed up.
And then what you do, you make your way to the journey to the airport. You check in. We got the guide there. They give us our passes. Right, so we got our passes and everything. And then, because we're going to Medina Sharif, there's no need for us to wear the ihram. But if we are going to Mecca Sharif, then we have to wear the ihram.
So you went about a week early, is that right? 10 days early?
Yeah, we went to Medina Sharif first for about 6-7 nights.
Sure.
And then from there we went to Mecca Sharif. But if you went to Mecca Sharif, you need to be in the ihram. Make the niyat, and then ihram. And then you can't, one thing you can't wear any body spray that you wear now. and you can't wear. It's got to be unscented soap. You have to have a shower with no shampoos and all that, because that's the ruling. Otherwise, it's not. And when you wear your tawaf, it's got to be above your belly button.
Your navel,
and it's got to be tied up, because if it goes below your belly button, then your tawaf is not valid.
Sure.
You got to make sure that. And
it's always.
and it's only 2 pieces of cloth.
That's right.
And I recommend a towel one, because that absorbs all the sweat. Because if you got cotton one, then it just get wet.
No, absolutely. These are very valuable tips as well. And I think was it yourself or someone did actually show me a video of how to do the real technique.
That. I'll say practice before you go. It's easy once you know how to do it. If you go fold it twice and then level it and then bring it around here, hold it there and then here and then.
Just keep on turning it really, so it's really tight.
That's it, like a string. And then you can wear a belt, where you keep your money in your phone.
Sure.
Yeah, and your head got to be uncovered.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that then you make the tawaf and everything. But what we did, we went to Makkah Sharif, and from there.
You went Medina Sharif, then.
Medina Sharif. Yeah. And then that's 2 hours from Jeddah. We went by plane, right? And it's only 5.5 hours from Heathrow to Jeddah.
Yes.
5.5 hours. And then we get our luggage, check in again to...
Jeddah to Medina Sharif.
Yeah,
how long was on the
2 hours.
plane?
2 hours.
2 hours, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
on the plane. It's 6 hours by coach.
Okay, so you took
Yeah, 2 hours. And then we get our stuff and then the truck bring our luggage.
Yeah.
And in Makkah Sharif, you're surrounded by the hotels. So everyone got equal access to it. Go to the hotel everywhere.
Yeah, they're all 4 or 5 star.
Yeah, so everyone can make it. And then we had 4 people quad. You can have a couple one, couple, you can have a triple, and quad each the 4.
Sure.
So we got 4 people. So there were 3 of us, and we had another Bengali flatmate.
Sure.
And that was and the good thing about it is we used to I tell them, wake me up for Fajr first. I'll have a shower.
Yeah.
Then I'll wake the next one up.
Perfect,
he has a shower, and then like that. We had a system.
You had a system, and it worked.
Yeah, and they give you towel, fresh towel every day, and you can have a shower. And then the food with 5-star. Obviously, from 6:30 to 10:30 is breakfast.
Yeah.
So we get up for Fajr 4 o'clock, come back, have a couple of hours, 4 hours, 3-4 hours sleep again, then get up at 9, have a shower, and then go and have breakfast. And then you can, and then we went to the in Medina Sharif, went down to the Rodan Masjid, which is where the Prophet peace be upon him is buried, and also you have to book that on the app. Okay. And that's next to gate 37. So my good tip would be after Maghrib, read Maghrib by gate 37.
Yes.
And then can join the queue.
Okay.
And then got more chance of getting in.
Sure.
And then to check you out. And then they said if you read 2 Nafal there, you get the reward of is it 2 Umrah or Hajj? 2 Hajj in the road and Masjid.
Riyadul Jannah.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
So I read so many enough for everyone.
Mashallah.
I made dua for everyone. I said, whole mankind, Ummah, whatever dua you requested by me.
Yes.
Everyone, I tried my best to fulfill them. And I read about, I think, 12 nafal there in the half an hour. And then we went on the way out to see the Prophet burial place.
Yes.
Obviously, it's heavily guarded.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
They don't let you touch that.
Yeah, you can't touch it because there's a barrier there. There's a barrier.
Yeah.
And the one that but obviously I made a film and I made dua, gave salam on behalf of to the Prophet, peace be upon him. And then obviously then we went to Masjid Quba.
Yes.
It's Masjid Quba. And then in there, they said if you read 2 nafal there, you get the swab of doing 1 umrah.
Is that the one with the 2 qibla?
No, Quba, Masjid Quba is where the...
Masjid Quba, yeah.
The other one.
Yeah, it's in our Prophet time, you used to walk it.
Yes.
But it's only 2 kilometers, it's not far.
Yeah.
So, but what happened, I had a good friend who used to work for the council, Amjid Maruf. Thank you for your hospitality.
Is he the one that came on the show? Is that...
No, this is another guy. He worked in the council, but he got a job in Saudi Arabia, tax-free and everything. And he found out I'm going on Hajj. And he said, Javed, I normally come on Friday in the Prophet Masjid, 2-hour drive. And I'll link up with you. I said, yeah, that's good. I gave him my hotel details. I got my Saudi SIM card. And we linked up. And he took me to a Pakistani Desi restaurant.
Oh, really?
MashaAllah, to eat. Bless him. Very good.
You miss that, don't you?
Tastes like home.
Yeah. No,
and then after that, he told me about Masjid Quba, which I didn't know. And then he said that if you read 2 nafal there, and I read about 10. So read it for my grandparents
Sure.
and everything to get as much maximize the reward. Yes, and then we also went with our tour guide.
Yeah.
You know the tour guide.
Yeah.
We went with them as well, and they took us to Masjid Quba on the coach. And they showed us this is where Mina, this is Arafat, this is what we're going to be doing. So the guides were bang on.
Really?
And one of the tips I would say for our sisters, from medical point of view, obviously, you know, when they're going through their period, they have to take tablets so their periods are delayed.
Yes.
And you have to stick with the tablets, like you got to take them 3 times a day.
Yeah.
So there's every 8 hours, otherwise you fail. And my wife took them, no issues. So that's a good thing. We didn't have that in our Prophet time, peace be upon him. But that's one, I think, tell the sister to do that, to sort that out, because you can't do, you can't do it, but it is possible to do it that way.
So, Brother Javed, so now we're sort of Medina Sharif, and now you're sort of starting to make your way to do your Hajj at Makkah Sharif. So tell us a bit about that aspect of the journey.
Medina Sharif.
Yeah,
obviously, I went to the mosque, I went to Masjid Quba, I prayed all my, all my namaz, and then also prayed the nafil because, Amin said it's a good opportunity to get some brand new points because people here they don't read the nafil, they just walk up. But you read the nafil, you get 50,000 salat reward, and I maximized that, and then I was on time. And we also had the luxury that if you can't make it for the Jamaat, we had a hotel overlooking the Haram Sharif and Kaaba Sharif. So
I think I saw one of your photos where you're actually in the hotel that you're reading your namaz.
Yeah.
And that was it's really within the perimeter.
We didn't have that in Medina because Medina you within 5 minutes. So you can make it quick even if you get up. You head it on, just go. And the good thing is, the Maulana, it is a long surat.
Oh, mashallah.
He doesn't read Kulu Wallahu Ahad, It is long. You're standing there for 15 minutes. And the reason I questioned that, and they said that some people are 2 hours away.
Sure. Makes sense.
An hour away. So they have an opportunity to make it to the Jamaat. And which I think they do that for Isha, and they do that for Fajr.
Yes.
So that was good. And then we went shopping. Obviously, we had time to do shopping. I said to my wife, do the shopping in Medina, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And plus, because when we go back to Mecca Sharif, we can't do it because the Hajj will start. So it's best to, and we done majority of the shopping the day.
So when you started then planning to go towards Mecca Sharif, tell us about then your preparation for...
When we went to Mecca Sharif, obviously we had a shower and put our ihram on, make niyat. They told us to do that, and when we got to the coast station, you have to make the niyat. Because once you're on the coast, you're on
the journey, aren't you?
And obviously you got to follow the restriction that you can't use scented soap, so you can't use body spray, so you just have a shower with water and that's it. Right? And then can't cut your nails and all that stuff. And then we went on the train. That takes about 2 hours.
And that sort of monorail that they have.
Yeah,
now. So you would travel on that?
Yeah. It was booked in part of the package.
Great.
So once we get to Mecca Sharif, and then it was like Maghrib time.
Sure.
So we decided to do the Tawaf Umrah first. So we just went and then went to Mecca Sharif, did the Tawaf, and you got this bead, you count it in 7.
Sure.
Yeah, and then you leave a green light. There's a green light there, that's your marker.
Yeah,
so when you come round, that's 1. Then come round up 7 times. If you're not sure, well, one thing you gotta be sure, you gotta have wudu for this.
Yes.
So if you break wind or anything, you stop there.
Yes.
And remember
know where you are.
Yeah, and then go and do wudu, and then come back and complete the rest of it. So you gotta be straight in wudu, and then do that. Once you've done the 7th Tawaf, read the 2 rakat for Ibrahim.
Sure.
Yeah, Nafal, and then you do the Siyah, they call it, Safa and Marwa, and then you got to stop. We saw where the mud was, where the Hazrat Ismail's wife Hajra, she was digging with the where Zamzam
for the water, yes.
So and then you got to look at the Kaaba as well, stop and see the Kaaba, make a dua. There's so many duas that you have to read, and they're all in the book.
Yes.
And read them, and then do the 7 Safa and Marwa. Once you've done that, and then you're nearly complete, so what you do, you go to a barber and get your head shaved.
Yes.
And then you can come back and you're out of the ihram.
Yeah, so you're
normal clothes. Normal clothes.
No, absolutely. Where are we? Ayub Hussein, salam alaikum to you and to the special guest. Welcome back, Adisal. MashaAllah. That's one brother, Pops Ayub as well, so MashaAllah. Great as well. So tell us about then, obviously, the main sort of, I was a big ticket whereby you went to get ready for your Hajj now. Tell us about that. How did that start? And
after, once I've completed the Tawaf, then we got to get ready for Mina.
Yes.
So we got to go to Mina and stop there at night. and pray there as well. And in Mina, but it's a 5-star hotel. Like you got about 50 people in a room, and there's like a sofa bed.
Okay.
So you sit there, and when you open it, you can lie down.
Sure.
And there's people next to you. So there's about 50-hour group, all boys and men were in one section, women were in the other. And we had AC, and we had fridge with full of drinks, water, juice, Coke, 7-Up, and 3 times. I used to eat moderately.
Good.
Yeah, because I don't feel myself. Alhamdulillah, my stomach was fine. That's the main concern, because once you start having the upset, then it's hard
your
to
whole
stop
routine.
I always say eat moderately. You don't need to fill yourself. Because we're not in a wedding feast.
What's that?
And eat moderately, and then you'll be fine. And then we stopped the night there, and then we went. I think we went to
Muzdalifah.
Yeah, that was a challenge, because we have to get there, and you have to sleep on the carpet. We had red carpet, but I remember my mum and dad were saying there were just pebbles there, and then we put a chadar on.
You gotta just go and sleep.
Yeah, chadar and sleep there, and you all sleep for 3-4 hours.
And that's open air night.
Open air, and the heat. You're under the mighty of the mosquitoes. Do you
get much sleep there?
Yeah, I got about 3-4 hours. But then I got up for Fajr, and there's a queue in the toilet, because obviously there's only 13 toilets.
Wow.
And the water pressure is low. But they deliberately, I think they've done it that way, because you have to have some difficulties. It can't be easy,
Sure.
And from there, then we had all the pebbles for the Jamaat.
For the devil, the story of the devil, yes.
Yeah, stoning of devil, the 3 bridges.
Yes.
But and what you got to do is, you got to say, Bismillah Rahim, Allahu Akbar, and throw one. It's got to be thrown like this.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't just throw like that. Yeah. Not hold the hand too. Okay. Yeah. And then 7 times Allahu Akbar each time you do it.
Sure.
And some people, they got carried away, and they tried to throw it like a cricket ball, or they tried
you see that
walking stick. And there was one guy who just chucked his slippers over.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He gets bit
Maaf kariye, I'm butchering into your conversation. What you got to understand is some people get emotional.
Yeah.
And your emotions are running high.
Yeah.
What you got to remember is, for the last 48 hours, you haven't slept properly.
Yeah.
Your emotions are running high. Yeah. And at the back of your mind is, I've got to get this right.
Yeah.
You see? And adrenaline, it's an all-time high.
Yeah.
And so some people, they literally start crying when they start throwing, because the emotions are running high.
So you do the first one, second one, and make dua in the first 2, but the third one, no dua.
Sure.
Yeah, you done the 7th, then you walk back to the camp, Mina, and then from Mina we come back to Mecca Sharif. So that ritual finished. But we have to do that twice.
Okay.
Yeah, so we stayed in Mina. And if you don't leave Mina by Maghrib, you have to stay another night and do another night of stoning again.
Okay.
So, you have to be careful.
There were people that actually were obviously...
What happened, we were waiting for the coach, they didn't turn up. So we decided that by 5 o'clock, if not, we're going to walk out. Because if you stay there till Maghrib, then you got to stay another night, and then you got to throw the stones again. So it'd be too much. So we decided, and then we got a taxi. You got to haggle with them.
Yeah,
because, some people, the taxi drivers, right, they charge £100 riyal per person, which is £25 for 2 kilometers.
Yeah.
And there's one taxi driver, he got 100 out of each, and he kissed them and he put it in his pocket. He's laughing. It's like a payday for him.
Yeah.
And then we had another.
My son, for you, is home from home.
Yeah.
And then we were glad that we had my uncle. He's got dodgy knees, and then he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And also, so what we did the second time, we got a taxi. We charged 100 for all 5 of us. So we got 4 of us in the back and 1 in the front. That was guy. He's a good guy. And also, we give tip to the cleaners.
Good.
Yeah, we give them 5 riyal, 10 sadaqah, because they really look after you.
And the cleaners at the Makkah Sharif and Medina Sharif as well.
Medina, Makkah
They do a great job.
And there were also poor people. But you will get some sub-stories. There was one guy who come to me and goes, I've got my village, koi kam nahi karta, to meri madad karo. I said, I haven't got no money, my wife got it. But, people try earning it. So, alhamdulillah, no pickpocket. If you give sadaqah, you don't carry too much. And another good tip I say to you, get a Monzo card.
Okay.
Monzo card is no bank charges. You can link it to your TSB, NatWest main bank, transfer money.
Yeah.
800, whatever you want. And they accept the payment.
It's like a sort of prepaid sort of card.
Yeah, prepaid. Okay. So my wife, she made some gold bangles. And then, I did the bank transfer.
Sure.
And it's cheaper up there. So you got to keep the wife happy.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, so obviously, everything is good there. Everything is available, whatever you want. and it's a very good experience. And
just want to talk a bit more about the dietary aspect, Brother Javed, or Haji Javed. Obviously, you mentioned about keeping it light, keeping it sensible, but a lot of these packages are inclusive, especially when you're going from UK as well, and we start overindulging. So what was the most sort of dietary that you were having? What sort of food was there? And did you go out to some of the takeaways?
There's everything. You can have a scrambled egg, you can have boiled egg, you can have an omelette, you can have beans, sausage, dal, ubla jol, biryani. Then they got biscuit, tea, cake, different cake, kakri, watermelon. The whole, and they got the Moroccan tea, English tea, dudwi bina, garam dudwi, everything
what you could imagine.
Yeah, but I've seen people, they just fill their plate
and they won't finish
it, and then they can't eat it.
Yeah, that's a real pet.
You just waste it, and I'm thinking to myself, you come for Hajj and look, you put all this food out, but you're not eating it. Eat, put it a little, eat it, come back and
just go again. And what about evening time? What were you doing in the evening time for food? Were you?
Yeah, we didn't eat anything during the daytime. We were full.
Sure.
So we read Zohar, and then an hour later they get ready for Asr, and then Maghrib. So them three are only an hour and a half.
Sure.
Short way. And then Isha is about 7:42.
Yeah.
And after you done Isha, we go to eat. Then you can do your shopping.
Yeah.
So the shops are open till midnight, 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Do your shopping. Then come home and sleep and get ready for Fajr then. And then that's how the day started. In the evening, mostly, I think the main time you have shopping is doing after Isha.
After Isha.
And you got to barter with them, haggle with them. Because, they give you high price and then they say, you walk away and say 25 and they go on at 20 and then they call you back 15.
Yeah. And that's something I'm sure you're used to.
It's in our DNA.
That's right.
Because, that's the way it is. And we got some good deals on the date. 45 riyal for kilo. So we bought about 25 kilos between the three of us.
All of us, yeah.
And it's been a magical experience. If anybody got any questions, ring the studio.
Yeah, please. So this is your chance now. So again, the studio number is 0121 682 8142. Any sort of question that you have, whether it's about Umrah or about Hajj, whether he was there or some of the preparation, or just about the costing as well. One question that has come through is what was the Saudis' organisation like?
Oh, they were fantastic. We had a welcome in the hotel, like a barat.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, they said, welcome to Mecca. Everyone was throwing petals at us. They gave us tea, they gave us date, they gave us drinks. It's like proper welcome.
Like royalty almost.
Yeah, they want your business. They want you, the Saudis are the expert. Anyone else, it would be a logistic nightmare.
Yeah.
When you got nearly 2 million people there, so they know.
3 million, isn't it now?
Yeah, they manage it. Obviously, everything, technology is moving. Now you can communicate with your family. You can phone them. I'll tell you one thing. WhatsApp does not work in the Saudi. So remember that. You need to download IMO from Apple. And that you can do FaceTime. You can do, but WhatsApp won't work. You can send messages on WhatsApp.
Sure.
You can send message, talk, or voice, but you can't do a FaceTime and you can't do video call. It doesn't work.
No, mashallah.
So be aware of that. And it's a good idea to get a Saudi SIM. It's only about 80 riyal and you get unlimited data and then use that when you're outside. And it's good to have a phone because if you ever get lost, you can phone each other and say, meet me at gate 72, gate 71, and that gives you a peace of mind.
And just a question from me, really. Obviously, we've now in the era of smartphones where you have all sorts of social media downloaded, and the last thing you want to be doing is even spending 1 minute on some of the social media stuff because you're at the best of places in Medina Sharif and Makkah Sharif. Is it worth having one of those old analog, the one?
Yeah, they don't work.
They don't work. Okay.
No, because I've seen now Bengalis and African, they got the old phones.
That's right.
Yeah, but they're not good for calling. So
it's
obviously,
better
they got no communication with their family if they take that phone. And then I shared my journey on Facebook because I wanted to share this moment. Experience. Even though I was in my free time, I was updating. I'm in Isha, I'm in Maghrib and everything, so people know. But one thing that really fascinated me is that when you get up for Fajr, you see everyone walking to the Jamaat. Everyone. We don't see that in the UK.
No.
We don't even get one line or two lines. Maybe
not
we're
even one
sleeping.
line.
I'm guilty of that. I'll put my hands up as well.
Yeah.
But that really turned my mind, because when you see men, women from Indonesia, Japan, Canada, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Russia, there's about 150 different countries represented at Hajj. So it was phenomenal. Honestly, I was just so, I felt ashamed of myself when I saw all these people walking for Fajr and we don't get up.
Yeah, I know.
Fajr and Isha is one of the hardest.
And reading it in Jamaat at the local mosque, the reward that you get.
You get 25 in the UK. You read one namaz, and it's 25. If you read it on your own, it's one. But in Kaaba, it's 100,000. And 50.
Yeah, so a couple of questions have come through. First of all, from Brother Shakil Chaudhry. Haji Javed Sahab, what was your main highlight of the trip?
I mean, it's everything, basically everything combined, because obviously I made some friends for life.
Oh,
because out of the group, we shared everything. Any issues or anything we discussed, they had a Telegram group set up. So we used to share where we are, which is the quickest gate, how can you get into Kaaba, is there a queue there? So they were passing us some good tips. And the highlight is seeing the Kaaba, because obviously my dream was, I'm always facing the Kaaba, but seeing the Kaaba with my own eyes made me emotional. And I was just crying out, saying, begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, forgive my sins. And my parents, my father had passed away, my grandparents, your parents, everyone making dua for them and saying, I'm a sinner, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, here I am, I've come to your house, please forgive me.
You're the most merciful.
Yeah, and that was the highlight. I think the highlight is seeing the Kaaba, and number two is seeing the Medina Sharif, where our Prophet, peace be upon him. Also, I saw Jannati Baki, where I even saw the live burial, because after the funeral they take the trolley there. The Saudis are very good. They take care of everything. You got no stress, no tension. They arrange the funeral and they bury you.
Great. Another question by Brother Jamil Chaudhry. Haji Javed Sahab, what was the toughest part of your trip, if you're able to just pinpoint to one particular?
One toughest is obviously the tawaf.
Yes.
Because that can be physically tiring. Especially when you're doing 7 and it's also at the peak time, because everyone's there at the Hajj. Maybe when you're doing Umrah, which quite a period, it might be less.
Yes.
You might be able to get it done in half an hour, 40 minutes. But that 7 walks, you have to be. And one of the key thing I say to people is sabr. Sabr. Have patience, because you're going to be pushed. You're going to get angry. Your blood pressure is going to go high. You're going to get agitated. You're going to get. All these emotions are playing at you, but you got to be sabr. Everybody, you hit somebody, you say sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, you're not doing it accidentally, but sabr is the key, and that is the key ingredient for a successful Hajj. If you got sabr, then everything works.
At that time, Brother Javed, you may be hungry, you're tired.
Yeah.
You've walked a lot. You may be dehydrated. All sorts, and you could just take the little list of provocations or an excuse, and then you could say something.
Yeah.
And that's when you just got to take a deep breath and say, look, where am I at?
Don't get angry. And also I say to yourself, drink plenty of water, because one thing I noticed, if you can't empty your bowels, that means you're dehydrated. You haven't been drinking enough water. If you drink water, it cleans through. So my key is drink water, not too chilled, medium, but not too cold as well. Because then, obviously, I was okay in Medina Sharif, but when I got to Mecca, my throat played up.
And you tell me more, because I've obviously not quite experienced it, but what's this Hajj sort of cough or sort of
cough,
flu congestion?
You're exposed to everyone, and also on the green carpet in the masjid, people are coughing on it, so you got their part,
Sure.
So another good tip, you take your own masala and lay it down.
Sure.
So that can protect you, but obviously, you can have all the best protection in the world, but you're still going to eat the Haji cough. They won't that.
That's right.
I say eat the Haji cough. I still got it. I'm suffering from it. I'm trying to get a GP appointment, but I will need something.
In the UK, wait a few weeks.
But alhamdulillah, the temperature, and then I got a blocked nose.
Yeah.
So I'll go, I have to keep spitting the phlegm out. That's not nice, not pleasant, but, And I took 2 paracetamol every 4 hours. So make sure you take your medication. Take paracetamol. I wouldn't take ibuprofen. Imodium, take it just in case. I took it, but I didn't need it.
Sure.
Yeah. But if you make the niyat and eat moderately, drink water, and go to the toilet. You won't need to go toilet much. I noticed that.
Okay.
Even I'm diabetic.
Yeah.
I used to get in the middle of that toilet, but your problem goes away.
I
when
told
you
you,
go to
mashallah. That's
Honestly,
what I
my
told you.
wife, I was more worried about her because she had a breast, but she was quicker than me. She
Oh,
was
really?
putting me
Mashallah.
faster, honestly. And also, she lost 3 kg in weight.
It can be done. It can be done.
Yeah, and it can
definitely.
be done. And like Brother Amin said, if you got any health issues, when you go there, Allah
Just
subhanahu
go.
wa ta'ala, there's always a solution. If you got a barrier, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Just opens,
I was
removes
worried
that.
about it, and people said, leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're his guest. He's invited you, you're blessed, and he will take care of you.
MashaAllah,
And that's
MashaAllah.
what I say.
Brother Haji Javed, we've talked about the financial side, we talked about the physical side, organisation side. Let's talk about the spiritual side of things as well. Now that you are Haji, you've been at the most sacred of places as Muslims. You've seen and witnessed everything at first hand. How do you think, what impact has it had spiritually to you, and how will that change you now that you're back in the UK?
Obviously, I want to be a better Muslim. I don't want to miss my salah. So I'm going to try and pray my 5 salah on time.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, give charity, show empathy, sympathy, help the community, see ways I can give something back. Like help the charities that Brother Amin are doing, make some financial contribution, help them.
Yes.
Also, give sadaqah and be the best of Muslim, because obviously, I've done one Hajj. My intention is now to pay for some poor person to do it.
Oh, MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
Yes.
What a
Because I
real
think once
intention.
is enough for me. Some people do 10 Hajj, some
Yes.
people do
Yes.
5 Umrah, but I say give a poor person back home in the village an opportunity to go
MashaAllah,
when they
MashaAllah.
can't afford it. And that's what I'm thinking, and that's what my intention is.
May Allah accept that
Obviously, I
intention.
might go for Umrah, because I'm saying you don't know what's around the corner, because life is too short.
Yeah.
So at least I'm in peace that my Hajj is complete.
Yeah.
And I would urge you, brother, Mr. Ali, make the niyat. If you got the resources, go with your wife, because you will come back a changed person. I guarantee you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you so much barakat. And whatever they're saying, whatever you spent in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives you the money back.
Oh, yes.
And slowly I will get the money back.
Yes.
It's an investment for your akhirah.
Akhirah.
There's no better investment than that. We want our ultimate aim is to get into Jannah for those.
MashaAllah.
Because that is the life forever. You'll have 12 virgins waiting for you, or whatever.
12.
And that's our ultimate aim. We want to go to Jannah Firdaus. And how we're going to get the key to Jannah Firdaus is following the Sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him, do our Hajj, keep our fasting, read our Salah, give our zakat, read the kalima, and you can't go wrong.
No, you're right. And inshallah, I have made the intention of going next year as well.
MashaAllah.
So, well, I accept that.
MashaAllah.
And I think also, once you are in that sort of financial position, it does become obligatory. But I think, there's a time and place where we all start thinking about our akhirah and what is obligatory for us as a Muslim. For those brothers and sisters that are watching our brother Haji Javed, who are, sort of maybe contemplating, who are not even considered, they're thinking that, I'm going to get my kids married, I'm going to get them through university, get them to sort of stand feet. I've got to, start praying, I've got to start doing my fasting, I've got to start doing my zakat before I'm even at that stage, before I can present myself in front of Allah subhanahu. What's your message to those people?
I'm saying, your priorities, okay, fair enough. I've done the same because I've got kids in education, so I've got that, and, obviously marriage can come after, because, your Hajj is better. Do the Hajj. I know you're putting your kid through education, and obviously, that's the expense for you. But you maybe, put a committee or something where you put £100 a month and try and save that. And because, you might get a package for 11,000. I'm hoping that the price will come down.
So am I. Yeah, Bazaji.
Yeah, but if the Saudis opening up more, like the quotas increase, then you got a better chance. The more it is, less it is. And you just have to close your eyes and accept it.
Yeah.
And then whatever package you get. There's two packages, there's shifting and non-shifting. Shifting is your luggage stays there when you're in Medina.
Yes.
Yeah. And non-shifting, you have to take your luggage with you.
It's better to have that
Non-shifting one.
Non-shifting one. Stay in one place.
Shifting one, you have to take your luggage with you.
That's too much of a headache, isn't it?
Yeah, more headache. Yeah. But that's what you pay for, it's what you get.
Sure.
So I'm hoping that inshallah the price will come down. But, like if your priorities are, get your kids education, and you also need your kid to be self-sufficient.
Yes.
So if they go, teach them how to cook.
Yes.
shopping, managing the budget, and also ironing. If they can do that, then you got a piece of mind. I know you got extended family to help you, but you don't want to put them out. You want your kid to be independent, because some of them, they might be already independent because they've been going to university, living away from home, and they might have that skills.
No, well said, well said. And also, you know, the Saudi Arabia, every year they are now really investing and expanding Haram Sharif and obviously Medina. And I want to talk about this monorail. What was that like, and how long does it take to go from Medina?
2 hours, and it's fast. It's clean. It's air conditioned as well.
Yeah.
And you get your own seat, so you don't stand for 2 hours.
Sure.
And the other one from Mina to Arafat and all that, you have to stand because there's only a few seats. That's only 10 minutes. But the main one is beautiful. Before, in my dad time, they used to say we took 6 hours.
7 hours, that's right.
Mecca to Medina. And there were accidents on the way as well.
Of course there were, because they drive so crazy.
They're full sleep.
They drive very fast.
And they like, and I tell you, in Saudi, they drive like Pakistan. Beep, 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 come in last minute.
But they're all Pakistanis, aren't they, the drivers?
Pakistani,
so they're used to that. So we've got about a couple of minutes left now. I'm just going to sort of also talk about, you know, obviously, you know, we've heard in previous years where there's been a lot of crushing, people have died because, you know, the people have either not followed the instructions or just because of the weight of people. How was it this time?
This time it's well organised because they got the police, they got the guards, and they're not rude to you. They call you Haji. You know, this side, and they're very nice and very comfortable, and you can't argue with them because they got your best interest and they got control, they got barriers. And also, good thing about Jamara Bridge is before it was the same way out, and so much pushing.
Now they've done
and that's where the crush used to happen.
It's got 3 floors.
Yeah, 3 floors. And the crush used to happen then,
That's right.
and people used to die because once you fall, they go over you.
That's right.
Yeah, and we had that in my dad's time. What they were saying. So now because it's 3 floors and then in, out, and they monitor it, and then the guards are there, they water you, they spray water in your face, they offer you water, and I think the Saudis are put, you know,
give them credit.
Credit to the Muslims. They have done a very good job, and hopefully they're building more hotels anyway.
That's right. It's non-stop, isn't it?
They have got the capacity to get more people there.
I think there, 7-8 years old hotel is considered sort of historic, so they tend to sort of knock it down.
The hotel that we had is brand new because it built in COVID. It got closed down, and we were the first people in there. So that was, you know, and the hotels are fantastic. The staff are good. They sweep up. They take your plate, bring you fresh plate. I've got no issue. 5-star towels, soap. They clean your beds, they hoover it, they clean the bins, everything. No issue with the hotel, no issue. Obviously, with the only I say me now because obviously the transport. Logistic nightmare because you got 2 million people there, so you have to walk. Either you can walk or you get a taxi, but you have to go through the tunnel.
That's right.
All in one, I say it's a fantastic experience. If you can afford it and make the need and just go for it.
Mashallah.
Leave it in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's hand, and then you will get the reward, because honestly, I'm still. My brain is still in Mecca Sharif. Yeah, I'm still having dreams. Am I at home or in the UK or am I in Mecca Sharif?
Last question from me is, you know, previously before COVID, a lot of people used to go here in groups, and you have to have, you know, people that were, you know, making, doing this as a main sort of business for them, and they were experts who would guide you. You've obviously gone through your own means through this portal, and they were just yourself, family.
The portal is a nightmare because obviously no shit. You got to be IT savvy, and my niece and my cousin did it. They stayed up till Fajr to get the package. Sure. Yeah, because everybody going on, the packages don't stay for a few minutes. So even
though you haven't experienced a group route, would you recommend that sort of
obviously we're not going to get the group route. We're not going to get the normal one. No, I don't think so, because the Saudis are keeping control and they got their own agents.
Okay.
Once you do the booking, they allocate you to the... And ours was Al Hadiya, based in Coventry Road.
I think
and the guys are good. Imam, they've been doing it for 20 years.
No, I think I know them.
And they give you the medical. We have the doctor as well with us.
Sure.
So if you got any medical issue, obviously he can advise you what to do.
Yeah, perfect. But I mean,
I was just quickly going to add, what the Saudis have done is they know there's Pakistanis coming from the UK, there's Pakistanis coming from Pakistan. So all of the tour operators in the UK who weren't allowed any tickets out of this 3,600 allocation, they were invited to go over and help and support them. So a number of my learned colleagues, friends who are running travel agent businesses as a full-time job, and they used to run these Umrah groups and Hajj groups, they've gone over to help out.
Mashallah.
I think Umrah can still book through normal.
That's right, you can. That's
but
right.
not Hajj.
Okay, mashallah. So, what a whirlwind sort of an hour that has gone, just as always, just flew by. I would imagine that you're probably saying the same thing about your Hajj trip as well. The last hour we had a great and detailed insight into Haji Javed Sahab, giving us a snippet of what the preparation, the logistics, the financial costs that had to be done beforehand, and then also the actual Hajj experience as well. So, alhamdulillah, he's managed to answer all of your questions. I'm just going to, as always, give the last 30 seconds or so to my guests just to sort of summarize and give a final farewell message to our listeners and viewers.
I would just say, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. It's a journey of a lifetime that we all are going to undertake one day. We're all guaranteed to die. We're all going to taste death. And I'll say that, if you got the finance, if you work, do your home, do your accountant's finance. If you got the finance, if you got the money in the bank and you're not doing it on Hajj, it's not good. But if you can afford it, if you got the finances in place, make niyat, register yourself in the portal next year, and you got a password set up, everything, and then they'll let you know when the packages come, and then just make niyat and leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He'll invite you. But I would say it's a golden opportunity. Honestly, I'm a changed person just by going to a Hajj. I just appreciate the beauty of life. I've got a hearing impairment. I was more worried about the heat because then my implant can't cope. I have no issues. So, it's a very good experience. I was put off by going. That was the main reason why I wasn't going on Hajj. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easy. And you see people with wheelchair. I've seen 6-month-old babies. People carrying babies with them, 3 in a pushchair, and they're still doing it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you, Ajiji. MashaAllah, once again, congratulations, Mubarak, to you and your family from all the Radio Aapki Awaaz. You hold a very special and dear place to all of us, and we want you to be part of the welcoming back celebrations as well. And for those of you, as my final farewell, if you are anywhere around the Al-Rock Road, our studios are here on Al-Rock Road, come take part in the dates, the khajur that brother Haji Javed has brought back, Ajwa dates as well. You've also got Zamzam water that I'm going to be drinking as well. We've got Matai, we've got a cake, and also the flowers as well that brother Haji Javed brought to the Radio Aapki Awaaz team.
Any questions?
Please, and we will be monitoring this chatter as well, and if there's anything that comes through afterwards, then I'm sure we will pass that on to Haji Saab, who will endeavour to answer those questions for you. And just to sort of finish off by saying, Haji Javed Saab, you've been a fantastic guest with lots of great tips. It has been great listening to you, and the time has flown by listening to you as well. Yeah, absolutely. And this is now maybe your 3rd or 4th time now you've been on Radio Aapki Awaaz. So you're no stranger.
I've been with the COVID vaccination, and I'm your number 1 fan.
Absolutely. Likewise.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought Mohammed Ali in my life. I've been with the Commonwealth Game preparations, and but even though I'm not from Alm Rock, still my heart is
an ambassador for Alm Rock as well. So,
and I just want to thank Brother Amin for his dedication, because he used to respond to my text messages while I was in Hajj. He was telling me to do this, do that, this, that. He virtually was my guide. And I'm so, it's like him was reliving his Hajj with me, which he done 5 years ago. And I take my hat off to Brother Amin, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you every happiness, long life, and barakah in your life.
Ameen.
Thank you very much for your kind comments, brother. Really grateful.
Absolutely. So on that note, thank you for listening as always. Until next week, please continue to look after yourselves and be part of Haji Javed Saab's duas as well. Until next week, God bless and take care of yourselves.